Okay, okay, alright. So it's obviously been a little bit longer than a year, but this has been something that I've been wanting to do for a while, so why not now, right? Totally, that's always a good reason. As far as the original idea for this video goes, I initially wanted to make a Fighter Pass review where I review all of the Fighter Pass Volume 1 characters and how they represent their individual series. After realizing I've never played Dragon Quest, a Banjo, or Fatal Fury game in full, I decided to make the M-rated decision to not talk about something I know nothing about. So I figured I would only do Joker. The only other character that I guess I could technically talk about is Byleth, but if I decide to ever play DQ11, a Banjo or Fatal Fury game, perhaps I can do separate videos for them in the future, but for now, it's showtime. So, Joker. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how much of an SMT wannabe fan I am. I'm not. But after watching my friend play Persona 5 back in 2017 and then getting it and loving it for myself, I have been educating myself with the rest of the series since then. I own Persona 3 and 4, although I haven't completed them all the way yet. I plan on getting the SMT 3 HD remaster, the SMT 5 for Switch. I have played Q and Q2. I'm aware of the fact that SMT is the parent series to Persona, with Persona being a spin-off series, and I'm aware that Nameless and Belladonna have not been physical characters within the series since before Persona 3. So, yeah. I know my stuff. Totally. Jokes aside, Joker being revealed for Smash was honestly just an amazing moment for me. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. I enjoyed the turn-based combat, the story was something I loved deeply, the themes and symbolic elements in the game were absolutely fantastic. Persona 5 is a game that I practically think about on the daily. So how do I think it was represented in Smash? Let's start by talking about Joker's reveal and announcement, the night of the 2018 Game Awards, the day before the game came out. I remember watching it live, but I kid you not, I decided to go take a shower right before the reveal happened. By the time I had got out of the shower, Reggie was on stage talking to the host about Joker's inclusion in Smash. Needless to say, I was very lost. I somehow managed to find a video of the reveal online without being spoiled, so I got to enjoy it as if I watched it live. The reveal itself was something else. The lights and power seemingly, turning off in the whole building, with the screen turning red. Joker from Persona 5 is on the screen. Was this going to be an announcement for Persona 5 on Switch? Or Persona 5 Royal information? What on earth could it be? Joker for Smash. Absolutely incredible. From here, however, we had to wait until April 16th the following year to get any sort of updated news surrounding the character. That was 5 months and a little over a week to wait. If I recall, it's the longest wait we've ever had to go through regarding character announcement and character releases within Smash's history. I know that the only real comparison we have is the Smash 4 DLC, but as far as Ultimate goes, I am pretty confident Joker's the longest. But anyways, how does Joker himself play? Does he stay truthful to his original game's counterpart? Confidently, I can say yes. His gun jump, and gun dash all come directly from Persona 5. The latter of these moves come from upgrading your gun skills through an optional confidant within Persona 5. So while these moves may not be inherently probable for Joker to accomplish, the representation of these skills is greatly appreciated all around. Arson, however, does not learn any type of gun skills or gun support skills akin to gun special. The only gun move Arson learns is Dream Needle, which has nothing to do with gun special. However, many personas are able to learn passive support skills that supports its wielder's attack. It's possible for Arson to have these types of support skills that would increase Joker's gun abilities, but these moves do not come naturally to Arson. You'd have to obtain them through outside means, similar to TMs or breeding moves in Pokemon. Aha is a move that Arson, Joker's default persona, learns by leveling up. Ironically enough, Arson does not learn Aegon naturally. Similar to Pokemon, attacks within Persona fall under specific types. In Persona 5, there are physical, gun, fire, ice, lightning, wind, psi, nuclear, bless, and curse attacks. Gun can basically be treated as like non-contact physical moves, bless and curse can be treated as light and dark respectively, and nuclear can be treated as I don't know, it's just a counter for psi, really. Anyways, Aha and Aegon fall under the dark typing here, aka Curse. In Smash, this has been incorporated to deal continuous damage to the opponents, like poisoning, for example. In Persona 5, this does not happen with either form of this move. It should also be noted that these types of attacks cannot be performed without summoning one's persona. Similarly to how a Pokemon trainer cannot use an attack like Flamethrower in and of themselves, Persona users cannot use attacks of their personas in and of themselves. So not only can Joker not technically use Aha without Persona, but Aha nor Aegon should deal continual damage. Rebel's Guard. Many will point Rebel's Guard influence to come from the Guard, aka blocking maneuver from Persona 5. However, by closely looking at this move's functionality and animation, that is not the case. Smash's Rebel's Guard move shows Joker holding his mask and harnessing some sort of energy around him that enables him to summon his persona. In Persona 5, regularly blocking does not do this whatsoever. Instead, I find it much more likely that Rebel's Guard's influence comes from the position and animation that Joker makes when you attempt to change out personas. During this animation, Joker holds his mask while temporarily showing blue aura around him. I find this to be a lot more closely related to what Smash is trying to accomplish, rather than the simple guard technique. The main issue here then, however, would be that the animation of when Joker switches personas in Persona 5 does not grant him immunity of any kind. This action of switching personas is an action that the player can perform as many times as they want to before selecting their move. It's essentially the equivalent of going back and forth between your party select screen and Pokemon. Wings of Rebellion is also something that is completely unique to Joker in the world of Smash Bros. Instead, this move most likely comes from scenes within Persona 5's animated cutscenes where Arson is seen spreading his wings. It's not uncommon for Smash to make moves that are completely new and unique for fighters, so note that I'm not saying that these are bad things, I'm just pointing out with how they compare with Persona 5. Tetrakarn and Makarakan, similar to Aegon, are moves that Arson cannot learn by naturally leveling up. Instead, these moves must be given to him. Joker's grappling hook also is not something found within Persona 5, but rather Persona 5 Royal. It's only used in a few instances per each dungeon in the game to allow the player to reach new areas that were not in the original game, or areas that have been altered from the original base game. Several of Joker's regular attacks are moves that we can see from other fighters. Zero Suit's forward air, Falco's neutral air, Sheik's up air, Cloud's down tilt, and more. However, these moves are moves that Joker does seem to be capable of within Persona 5. After all, it's mostly just him handling his knife. His final smash also comes from Persona 5's all-out attack, which can be accomplished once you've pinned down every enemy. While the circumstances for the move are obviously different than in Smash, the move is beautifully orchestrated in Smash. Now that we've got Joker's moveset out of the way, let's talk about the other two things that Joker has available to him. Joker's 3 victory screens is practically a frame-by-frame remake of the victory screens available from Persona 5, the standard running one, the Morgana car, and his all-out attack screen. These are beautifully recreated in Smash, especially the last one. You can tell that there is a lot of work and effort put into Joker's victory animations alone. Next, we'll discuss Joker's outfits. Of course, there are his 2 standard outfits, his default Phantom Thief and school uniform attire. Not much else to add here. However, the rest of his Phantom Thief outfits actually pay tribute to the other Persona games. His 2 white outfits are references to the character Goro Akechi and his outfits within Persona 5. The Phantom Thief outfit shows Akechi's attire as Crow, while the school uniform outfit shows Akechi's detective attire. Joker's blue and yellow Phantom Thief outfits are obvious references to Persona 3 and 4 respectively, as those colors are the dominant color of choice for those games, as red is for Persona 5. The purple and violet and red outfits are a little harder to divvy up, but I suspect that they're also likely references to Persona 1 and Persona 2, Innocent Sin respectively as well. Now that we've gotten Joker completely out of the way, let's talk about Mementos. When it comes to all of the available stages that were possible for Smash, Mementos makes the most sense. All the other dungeons in the game are temporary at best, and each represent a specific perspective that the game has to offer in terms of its overall narrative. The only other real option for a stage, in my opinion, would have to be Tokyo itself, and moving around it similar to Kalos' Prism Tower. I suppose what they could have done is transport the player to each individual real-life location of the palaces, since each dungeon in the game is a metaphysical cognition of someone's twisted view on a real-life location. For example, Kamoshida, the abusive schoolteacher, viewed the school as his castle. Madarame viewed his own home as a museum. So I suppose the stage for Smash could have taken you to these real-life locations, and maybe showing you their cognitive versions each time you go to a new location. It would have been a decent idea, but really cluttered. Ultimately, I prefer the version of Mementos that we did end up getting. Not only does Mementos just fit better from a thematic perspective, but having Mementos change colors depending on the music per game soundtrack is absolutely incredible. Obviously not something that's from Persona 5, but incredible nonetheless. While nothing from before Persona 3 was added, it's still an amazing feat to have Persona 3 and 4 songs in Smash in general. Persona has always been praised for its soundtrack with each new installment, so the way that they incorporated here was really fascinating. Speaking of which, the music. As I've already stated, Persona has always been praised for its soundtrack. Having tracks from Persona 3 and 4 is nothing short of a classical and refreshing experience. Even the songs that they added from Persona 5 are beautifully orchestrated as well. Personally, Beneath the Mask is already one of my favorite Persona songs of all time. Seeing it remixed into a more upbeat tone was a pleasant surprise and very, very, very well received. With the music and stage out of the way, let's talk about the spirits. As someone who doesn't really handle with spirits too much outside of the occasional raid boss amiibo challenges, the spirits are more or less fine. I will admit though, the choices that they made for primary and support spirits are weird. I'll list these off one by one. Morgana is typically seen as a supporting character. Even though Morgana probably is the character that's closestly tied to the plot, Morgana's whole purpose in Persona 5 is to support the player. I could also mention how Morgana's Arcana, the Magician, is meant to support the Fool in his journey and go more in depth into the whole lore there, but it's neither here or there. Personally, I think Morgana should have been a support spirit. Ryuji being a primary spirit is more or less fine, given how Ryuji is not built as a support unit in Persona 5. Ann, initially when she first joins your team, plays a lot more of a standalone unit, but as the game progresses it becomes clear with her level up abilities and such that she's meant for a more supportive role. Thus, I think that Ann should be a supportive spirit. Yusuke and Haru, like Ryuji, are fine being primary spirits. I feel like Igor should also be a primary given how essential he is as a standalone character, but him supporting the player through Persona 5 makes sense in this regard. Caroline and Justine being support is fine, Makoto and Futaba as support is fine. Here, I think Akechi should have been a primary spirit. He's not built as a supportive unit at all within the game, and is way more of a primary character than Morgana even thought of being. The Phantom Thieves of Heart Spirit is fine as a support spirit. This one really isn't here or there, but it being an attachable spirit to any of the primaries probably just makes the most sense. As for the spirit battles, Igor being Robin is really cool, and him summoning 3 Ridleys as a reference to Nameless, Belladonna, and the Painter is a really great touch. Caroline, I hate myself, and Justine as the Ice Climbers is obviously perfect. Morgana being Pikachu with Incineroar being Zoro is really great. Ryuji being Captain Falcon makes a lot of sense, given Ryuji's hard-headed nature, and having a Mii-Gunner resemble Captain Kidd is alright, but I think I would have preferred actual pirates, like Ridley or K-Rool. On as Z-Suit with Peach as her persona is a good touch. Yusuke as Chrom with DDD as his persona is pretty cool too. Makoto as Sheik with an invisible Wario is not only cool, but hilarious, so that's an A+ from me. Also, I should go ahead and note this, that Sheik autocorrected on my script to Shrek. So my script reads, Makoto as Shrek with an invisible Wario. Totally should have just left that in there. Futaba being Inkling should obviously be great, and having Wily's Assist Trophy as her persona is a great opportunity that they took, so A+. Haru as Villager with her persona being Daisy is alright. Marth for Akechi and a giant pit for Robin Hood is cool too. Probably best they didn't spoil that with Loki, although even then I'm not sure who Loki would be, so overall that's cool. Next, let's talk about Joker's classic route, Shadows. Well, I think the name fits. I think having the name relate to the meta-narrative of Persona 5 probably would have fit better. Naming it something like Beneath the Mask, I guess, or just more akin to Persona 5's overall theme in general would have been better in my opinion. Joker's first fight is against 6 Game & Watch, which is fine. The majority, if not all of these, are just going to represent shadows, so they're all going to be black or, like, dark paleted characters. The second match being a giant black Kirby is fine. Third match being Samus and Dark Samus is fine. Fourth being Dark Meta Knight is fine. Fifth being Dark Lynx are fine. Sixth being Black Incineroar is also fine. Honestly, though, I kind of would have preferred these bosses to represent the bosses from Persona 5. Like, have the first match be against a giant Donkey Kong or Bowser, for Kamoshida, as DK and Bowser's whole trope is, stealing Mario's girlfriend, which relates to Kamoshida's lust. Have the second match be against a giant Kirby for Madarame, as Kirby's copy abilities would represent Madarame's plagiarism. Have the third be against a Wario for Kaneshiro, as Wario would represent Kaneshiro's greed. Have Futaba be Inkling, obviously. Actually, or Lucas. I guess Lucas fits pretty good with her. Honestly, not sure what you could do for Akumura. I guess like Bowser Jr. at best, to be honest, but that one's kinda eh. And then Bayonetta or Zero Suit, probably more so Bayonetta, would be Nijima. And then I would vote for Ryu, Ken, or maybe Incineroar to be Shido. And then Master Hand being the final boss fits nicely, given how Master Hand is implied to be a controlling entity, despite it being manipulated throughout Smash's lore more than once, which would be cause for Master Hand to relate to Yaldabaoth. And if you want to take it one more step further, we could include Dr. Mario as a boss. Just saying. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's all there was to Joker's Fighter Pass inclusion in Smash. Sure, there were other small things too, like the additional Mii costumes and the stage builder update, but those are things that you could technically get separately from purchasing Joker, so I'm not including those. Anyways, guys, I believe that's all I got. So let me know if you enjoyed this kind of video down in the comments below, and if you want me to do the same thing for the other DLC fighters, let me know, because otherwise I have a lot of games to be playing. But yeah, I guess until next time, this is Jake, logging out. Peace.